Let's now start with the big story that we are tracking on Beyond at this hour, where there is a proposed legislation in the United States and it aims to drop the title of president for China's Xi Jinping in all official US documents. The new bill, which has been dubbed Name of the Enemy Act, was introduced by Representative Scott Perry. He belongs to President Trump's Republican Party, which has increasingly adopted a rather hawkish stance towards China. Now, the bill argues that by referring to Xi Jinping as president, the US government is according the Chinese leader a certain legitimacy. It now seeks to switch Xi Jinping's title from president to the chief of the Communist Party of China. Now, a president is the highest elected official in a republic or in a government, but Xi Jinping has never faced the electorate in his career.
Well, he was considered the brainchild of U.S. President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign promise to build a border wall with Mexico and to make Mexico pay for it. Former Chief White House strategist Steve Bannon. Well, tonight, Bannon has been charged with fraud in a scheme centered around that border wall. He entered a plea of not guilty at a New York courthouse today. Federal prosecutors in the city allege that Bannon and three others illegally used money from an online crowdfunding campaign called We Build the Wall to pay their personal expenses, including cosmetic surgery. The money, about $25 million, came from hundreds of thousands of donors. Those donors were told that their contributions would be used to fund construction of a border wall with Mexico to stop migrants from entering.
Now, the Limpopo government has halted another multi-million rand shack project, this time in Burgersfort. The 50 structures, similar to the ones handed over to Talana residents in Zanlin last month, believed to have cost the Limpopo government something in the region of 17 million rand. Residents in the area are allegedly refusing to occupy those dwellings.
Well, certainly, Jeremy, it is part two of that controversial project, this time to the tune of 17 million rand, as we have put it. And seemingly, Jeremy, if you can look at these particular structures behind me, I'm just going to step over short so that you can see probably, Jeremy, not different at all to the Talana project. In fact, it is the same material that has been used to make these structures, also the same specifications. You can also see clearly down there that these structures, just like the Talana ones, are also standing or balanced by a brake.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has recently delegated some of his authority to his close aides, including his younger sister, Kim Yo-jong. That's according to South Korea's National Intelligence Service on Thursday, which basically implied that Kim Yo-jong is now the number 2 in charge of the regime. Although Kim Yo-jong has assumed the majority of the authority from her brother, including the policy towards Seoul and Washington, she's not the only one who's sharing power. Park Bong-ju, vice chairman of the State Affairs Commission, and the new premier Kim Duk-hun have taken over power in controlling the economic sector. The NIS believes the shift in power is mainly to relieve stress for Kim and to share responsibility in case of failed policies. Analysts say the move also reflects Kim Jong-un's confidence in his ability to rule the regime based on his 9 years of ultimate power.
It's been nearly 8 months since government forces literally locked out Juan Guaidó from Venezuela's National Assembly. This even though he was the leader of parliament. Now, President Nicolás Maduro is preparing to make good on his vow to regain control of parliament, the country's only independent democratic institution, in upcoming elections. Guaidó's plan calls for denouncing and rejecting what he calls an electoral fraud. Guaidó is appealing to the fractured opposition to join forces and call for a total boycott of the elections, arguing that fraud is a foregone conclusion. Participating would legitimize a dictatorship, he says. A new data analysis poll suggests that 75% of Venezuelans believe the elections won't be competitive and won't reflect the opinion of the voters.
British consumers are likely to be stuck with useless Huawei phones in coming days, as the Chinese tech giant was blocked from receiving future software updates due to sanctions imposed by the US. According to a UK-based Telegraph, more than 4 million Britons could barely use their phones due to the blocked software updates. The Shenzhen-based phone maker has been blacklisted by the Trump administration and is at the very high risk of losing its permanent license. Now, this means Huawei users will not be able to use apps and receive any operating system updates from Google. According to the survey carried out by UK government statistical agency, over 41 million UK adults own a smartphone, and of which 4 million of them are owned by Huawei.
Pakistan Minister Sheikh Rashid on Wednesday claimed that there is no scope for conventional war if the country is attacked by India and will reply with nuclear weapons, which will save Muslim lives and will only target certain regions. In an interview to Pakistan-based Sama TV on Wednesday, Federal Minister for Railways of Pakistan, Sheikh Rashid Ahmad, said that Pakistan has small and perfect weapons. Now, if Pakistan gets attacked by India, he says, there is no scope for a conventional war. This will be a bloody, final and nuclear war, Rashid said. The minister predicted that there will be an upcoming bloc of countries such as China, Russia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan should be a part of this grouping.
I just said they all want.
After a while, catching up on the phone just doesn't do the trick.
We've just missed each other so much, and we just want to be a little closer.
Evelyn lives in Washington State, and her sister's here in BC, so they decided to meet up at the border like so many others have throughout the pandemic. But they were surprised to see this new fence.
I asked if it was electric, so it's not.
This stretch of the border along Zero Avenue in Abbotsford has always been separated by just a ditch, no walls or barriers. But this week, the Americans began putting up this fence on their side. And today, more drilling. When we asked the Border Patrol agent why,
it helps reduce the illegal crossing of people and products.